Love and hookups in the internet era. Let's carry on with part 2. Some more interesting points to make. But before we do so, this of course is Replicant Fish. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good weekend, an interesting weekend. But what are the psychological effects of having so many partners or so many options? Does it make one undateable or unable to date? Both? Yeah, but enough waffling. Let's begin.
She's researching the cultural history of dating. Her work describes the search for a partner from the start of the 20th century until today. We caught up with her in Ferrara in Italy, where she and her husband were invited to speak at an international conference.
Husband? She's got a husband, pay attention.
When I was researching the book, I would talk a lot to people, and when people learned I was writing a book about the history of dating, they would tell me about their own dating lives, and often I would notice this language of exhaustion, this language of feeling exasperated. What I mean by that in my book is that dating, which is sold as a kind of consumer activity or fun, is related to what we think of as real work in at least two ways.
Yes, sold as fun to the highest consumer, being women. The hookup culture, of course, is something many men obviously enjoy. However, they're not the ones that create and promote this. They just abide and have their fun if they so choose or avoid.
First, it absolutely is a kind of economic transaction and always has been.
On dating apps, we should be desirable commodities and surpass the competition.
Like I said in part 1, how much is it about the appearance versus the actual person, the real, supposed genuine person? Oh yeah, you'll find out that later on.
It also requires people to work on themselves, and I don't know how well these idioms translate, but in English, all these expressions we have for courtship are market expressions. So you're on the market, off the market. Damaged goods is not nice, but a thing people say.
Damaged goods. Damaged goods. A quick point to make, and an obvious point, yes. Many women become leftover women because they are damaged goods, and will remain so because they are damaged goods. Now, yes, you can say, oh, blame the men, or the men just were wrong to her in her life. However, still the point, she chose the men she was with. She chose them. There are only so many times you can make the same wrong mistake. Yeah. Sexy mistakes. Yeah.
Damaged goods is not nice, but a thing people say, hard to get. So this idea that you're trying to shape yourself as a kind of commodity that you're selling on the dating market, and you're simultaneously shopping around for someone else, this is something new in the historical period I'm talking about, and it's something that makes people feel a lot of pressure to work on themselves endlessly.
In the upmarket Munich neighborhood of Schwabing, we are meeting psychoanalyst Wolfgang Schmidbauer, Germany's most famous couples therapist. His work has given him first-hand experience of the challenges and problems involved in the digital search for a partner.
Es ist ja viel leichter, neue potenzielle Partner kennenzulernen.
Getting to know people, new potential partners, is a lot easier for those who have the courage to get involved on the digital dating scene.
Gleichzeitig denke ich, ist es auch ängstigender.
At the same time, it's also scarier. In the final analysis, it creates a totally new, previously unknown situation. You're unable to orient yourself in the unimaginable number of possible relationships. This was much more restricted earlier and wasn't stimulated to the point that a person was unable to say, "Now I finally found someone and I'm glad about it." Instead, they're wondering, is it okay to stop now? After all, there could be a better offer.
Exactly, a better offer. There could be a better offer. And for many women, they hold out hope of a better offer to a point of it being stupid, to a point of it being impossible. If there are certain men out there all women are searching for and trying to get, it's impossible that every single one of these women will get these men. So many women can actually make themselves bitter by continually pursuing men that don't exist because they were never happy with the men they had.
Just like a woman.
The sad thing for many women is the best men they ever could have gotten in their life may have been in their past. They just didn't know it because they were too busy trying to look for something that didn't exist.
No one cares.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Und es könnte ja ein besseres Angebot geben.
And because everyone involved is searching for someone, everyone's wondering if there could be something better out there. which promotes a feeling of chronic insecurity.
But it would, and you can see it yourself. Her energies, her insecure energies. And the point is, as a man, trying to date certain women when you can see this is damn near impossible. Some don't understand it. They see it as just hate. Oh, you hate. It's just hate. No, it's not hate. It's understanding and looking at what you possibly have to put up with in dating. It's like, Jesus Christ, look, for as much as you enjoy women, one has to pay attention to the crop of women you have to choose from. Then look at where are they getting their ideas and narratives from. You have to find the source and then, you know, work your way back, sort of reverse engineer what modern women are to see, like, Jesus Christ, this.
Because women ain't shit.
These notions, these ideas, these delusions, these false hopes based on nothing, who knows? I'm just waffling, but good waffle.
You become extremely indifferent, a lot more superficial than you really are. And I probably have too. I've become a more superficial person.
But in some sense, haven't many people? I could say haven't we all, but I'd probably say I'm talking for myself. But seriously, seriously, I'm not superficial. I'm actually realistic.
Bullshit.
I think. Seriously. But in some way, because of the modern visual, instant era we live in, of course, many of us do become superficial. Of course, many are searching for something that doesn't exist. To the point where you have to wonder, are human beings just becoming so deluded in themselves that they can't hook up? Or is it more so in the women that the women have become so deluded that men may try to find a decent woman, but he may come across a woman who's just damaged in many, many ways from the many experiences and fun pursuits she's had? Who knows? Who knows?
It only takes one photograph in the mix to make you think, maybe he's not the right person. Then you immediately swipe to the left, which of course means he's gone.
Heike Meltzer is a sex and couples therapist. Recently, she began to answer questions about sex on dating apps. She believes digitization has changed the way we get to know one another and our sexuality. She warns of an over-sexualized society.
I mean, warns of it, but aren't we there already? I mean, haven't we been there for a while? I mean, to some degree, yet at the same time, there are reports and many reports and articles and whatever saying that many younger people are actually, you know, men and women are actually, you know, becoming a bit more strange about sex. One has to wonder, is it older people's fault? Is it? Or is it just society?
Today we live in a kind of paradise. A table has been set before us and we have an amazing range of choice, around the clock and usually free of charge. Our next partner for a lovely evening can be quickly found on our smartphone or GPS, perhaps already at the next bus stop or in the same train. These days, the first topic to be discussed is sex. People don't see if they can actually speak to each other. You know someone's sexual preference before you know their name. Sometimes you don't even know that.
Interesting point. Interesting point. Interesting point. Now, I'm glad she said that. A professional said that. I've seen quite a few comments saying, you talk about sex quite a lot and you make a lot of sexual references. But the point is, as I've made before, and as many men know, yeah, it's a hookup culture. Of course, that's going to be one of the main and first things you talk about. Yo, what, you're going to bang or not? not like that, obviously, with probably some more class, you know, a bit more class. Yeah, in 2021, in 2021.
Oh, God.
Yeah, all the modern lovemaking, yeah, hookup lovemaking, I'm sure.
That, you're in an anonymous sphere, full of available opportunities. We're being released, given infinite freedom, and we first have to learn how to handle it.
Okay, I'm going to have to edit this part out of the video.
I've observed three major changes in my practice. First, old sexual problems are coming in a totally new form. Young men with erectile dysfunction, and men and women who can't achieve orgasm, or a lack of enthusiasm for sex that was said to be exclusive to women. But in the spirit of equality, men are now catching up slowly and overtaking women.
What?
Wow, damn! That is intriguing and deep and scary as F. Damn! Wow. Yes, and yes, very true. I made the point earlier on, a lot of younger people are in some cases abstaining or just not getting it on to some degree because of the internet. It is intriguing and obviously quite sad as well, but interesting in the way how modern relationships have, you know, how it's what they've become, and the irony in calling yourself an android, a replicant, and yet for many people, they can or can't hook up simply because of these smartphone android devices. These things that have now taken over our lives, and in a way we've chipped ourselves, for lack of a better, you know, description. And for many, they're lost in this digital lust, trash visual thing, and there's a lack of actual feeling and care and emotion.
Oh God.
Indeed. It's like a dating pool, except it's nothing but shallows. Nothing but shallows. Intriguing. Intriguing.
Lack of lust isn't their problem. Lack of a desire for sex with a partner is.
Yeah, more things I'm going to block out because they're showing a lot of female devices, you know, female just power devices, power tools.
There are qualitative changes too. What used to be hardcore is now soft porn. Things like voyeurism, fetishism, exhibitionism, and BDSM, formerly seen as perversions, have arrived in regular society. They are no longer seen as abnormal behavior.
Exactly. The things that always existed, except the internet is making it more common, household now, more just commonplace. So a point for many men to understand, you having any classic view of the world and women, you have to understand how hindered you possibly are, how hindered you actually are. Things have changed so much in a way that the men that think in a traditional classic sense are the men that end up losing for the most part, because they're the ones seeking something that may not exist. They're trying to find a woman, but they don't understand. It's just your turn. She's not yours, it's just your turn. The modern era, the internet era, describes that in perfect detail. To remember as a man, she's not yours, it's just your turn.
They are no longer seen as abnormal behavior. And then there are the quantitative issues. The gap is steadily widening between virgins who cater to themselves wonderfully in virtual worlds, who know everything theoretically but have no practical experience, and those who Tinder from bed to bed. Here is where we slip very quickly into porno and sex addiction. This applies to the virgins as well as the promiscuous, who can no longer find the off switch, or who are unable to be intimate in a proper relationship. It's true for both, even those who Tinder from bed to bed and who actually try to run away as soon as the knickers drop.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Stunning. And yes, the obvious correlations between the two. This has been my point for a very long time. I'm glad these scientists and professionals are explaining this point in a better way than I ever could. You see, my point is, it doesn't matter if you're a man out there smashing down broads or if you're not.
No one cares.
The point is that many of the same thoughts apply. Many of the same, let's say, feelings apply. Yes, there are experienced and non-experienced. But in some way, in the modern time, it's all become one. Has it not? Tell me if I'm wrong. The experienced and non-experienced, in some way, it has all become one. Some strange amalgamation of these once, let's say, separate thoughts of getting some and not, almost becoming one. The cell is not just the man, it's the woman as well, but for strange and different reasons. But not the same. Intriguing. Good God. Good God. Waffling, yes, but indeed.
People, I think, are just as faithful or unfaithful as they've always been. But the opportunities for infidelity have increased considerably, while economic pressure on people to remain faithful has dropped enormously. In the past, there'd be a letter, or someone would be caught in the act, or a hotel bill for a double room in that suit jacket that went to the cleaners. The result was a jealous outburst and a heated argument, and the affair would be downplayed, or there would be a confession. But the chasm that opens after checking someone's mobile phone, reading their emails, and seeing all the photos, all the facets of a relationship laid bare in the form of images and texts, well, that's a shock, especially when a partner had no clue. And this, I feel, has become a totally new kind of relationship problem.
A problem indeed, one that even has infected, if you will, divorce rates, to the point where there are many divorces and obvious relationship breakups that happen because of social media, Facebook, Instagram, and many others, obviously, probably some adult sites as well. But it's so intriguing that many relationships are now ending, not just being built, but ending through this grand device known as the internet.
The people who met online used to lie and say, "We met at the farmer's market." If they said we'd met online, they may as well have said we got to know each other backstage at a sex show. Or by answering an ad in a hardcore magazine.
Silence, you fool!
And we'll leave it there, but there's more video. Let me know if you want a part 3. I'll do a part 3 in a couple of days. I'll drop something else first, but then part 3, maybe on Tuesday. But how intriguing this one has been. Many obvious points myself and other men have made before, and many of you know yourself. But it's so intriguing how things have evolved and how they will continue to evolve going into the future. We will have an increase of both leftover women and men. As men, why would a man want to pick up and marry a woman that's so damaged? Here. In other words, focus, observe, remember. The world is yours. Have a nice day.